Everything about what's prophesied in the scriptures is coming to the forefront in these perilous times, in these iniquitous times, in these idolatrous times. We see it. You see this Nipsey Hussle sculpture or figure, this wax figure. All it does is just show you that we living in these times of, the fulfillment of prophecy. Just when it comes to these last days, it's just showing you we should not be idolizing anything, any image, any sculpture, any figure, any person, especially people who are a part and aligned with the occult, like a Nipsey Hussle was, who was sacrificed at the age of 33, which was all Masonic and Luciferian. That's all it was. That's all it was. This is why J. Cole had a song where he mentioned Nipsey Hussle being killed at 33, just like Christ and just like Pimp C. What was he telling you? He was telling you that they were sacrifices. They were sacrifices, comparing him to the sacrificial lamb. And this is what they do in the entertainment industry, because these people are set up as gods and influencers. This is why he has a statue, because this modern day Babylonian ancient Kemetic society, is just living up to fulfillment of prophecy. That's all it is. Exodus 20 and verse 4, where it says, "Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself unto them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me." Very important for us to understand. When you put power into things, that's your God. That's idolatry. Especially images, sculptures, figures. And these are things that are replicated from people who've died, from people who are alive. And it's idolatry. It's wrong. It's sinful. So it's important for us to stand by the laws, the statutes, to the best of our ability. And this is simple. This image right here represents a signifier. You saw this image a lot before the demise of Nipsey Hussle, because it represented a signifier. The all white, which is in replication of the moon, because of the moon goddess known as Isis or Luna. Also Rhiannon, who is the mother goddess of the horse. This is why you have the white horse. The white horse represents transition or transformation, rebirth. Rhiannon was associated with rebirth, transformation, forgiveness, fertility, as well as the moon. That's why they wearing all white. Now, when it comes to the understanding of the mother goddess, it's just a composition of a person named Semiramis, a historical figure in the scriptures, who was the mother of Nimrod. Nimrod was also known as Osiris and Horus, and Semiramis was known as Isis, the mother of Osiris and Horus. Osiris just reborn as Horus. And this is why you have the whole rebirth aspect, as well as the understanding of Christ, as far as the factor in this whole esoteric dynamic with Nipsey Hussle being sacrificed at the age of 33, and also the whole aspect of rebirth in regards to the signification and how it just lets you know what this really is about. It's a signifier. The all white and the horse, Lauren London representing Rhiannon, as well as Epona in Celtic mythology. In Welsh mythology, she was known as Rhiannon. So this right here represents Rhiannon. It's also where the singer Rihanna got her name from. So the whole entertainment industry is just full of demons that worship, the pagan mythology. Back to ancient Egypt, Rome, Greece, so on and so forth. Wells.
of killing Nipsey Hussle has been sentenced to 60 years to life in prison. The LA Superior Court judge handed down the ruling this afternoon. Last summer, a jury found Eric Holder Jr. guilty of first-degree murder. Holder shot the rapper back in 2019 outside his clothing store in the Crenshaw district of South LA. He was also convicted of 2 counts of attempted voluntary manslaughter for shooting 2 other men who survived. An exact motive for the shooting was never established.
Now notice the number 60. That number 60 being associated with Nipsey, and the person that kills Nipsey gets 60 years in prison. This shit is all a stage. And I'm not saying that it's fake, but it's staged. There's a difference. Something can be still staged and the acts be real, but it's all staged based off of the numbers and the reasonings behind it. Eric Holder being a patsy, MK Ultra Manchurian candidate, allegedly. Very, very important that we understand the numerological significance as well as other significances just when it comes to different factors that play into it, like the esoteric, the Luciferian, the aspect of the moon, so on and so forth. These things is what really tell the story. And it's always been like that. But it's ironic, this person gets 60 years in prison, and when she's reporting it, she's wearing the blue. It's in blue bold letters. It's a reason behind these things, man. Now the blue, that aspect is in representation of Saturn, just when it comes to the understanding as far as, you know, the connections with the colors. Blue is associated with Saturn, black is associated with Saturn, and purple is associated with Saturn. So that's that aspect of it as well. And we already understand, like, the gangs, the Bloods and the Crips, all Masonic. That's all it is. It's all Masonic. The Masonic principles of red and blue, you know, and how you have that dichotomy, and then, you know, it's always the aspect of them going at it, the red and blue, Republicans versus Democrats, boxing, red corner versus blue corner. Always they show that aspect of the duality, the opposites coming together, the dichotomy, so on and so forth. The principles of Luciferianism and Masonry, the blue and the red. So the blue being associated with the number 6 because 6 is associated with Saturn, the 6th planet from the sun. And let's just get into something else in regards to the aspect of the dichotomy, or the, you know, the parallels or the opposites. Now this right here is purely Masonic. It's purely Luciferian. You have these themes of opposites coming together, as well as the yin and the yang element. And, you know, Nipsey Hussle being associated with the checkerboard floor. You see the album cover for Victory Lap. The checkerboard, we already know what that's in reference to when it comes to the Masonic element. Nipsey Hussle was a Mason. That's what he was. You see him on the left side with the blue to represent the Crip. On the right side you have YG with the red, and in the background it's the opposing colors, the opposite colors, because this is all Masonic. This is a Masonic conveyance. It's not just about, oh, unity, Bloods, Crip coming together. It's not that. It's Masonic. That's what it is. It's Masonic. And then you have the black and the white. This right here, just even with the black and the white, is letting you know that this is more than meets the eye when it comes to the conveyance of this. Because on the surface, people just look at it like, oh, you know, they're trying to bring back the, you know, blood coming together with the Crip element. Is deeper than that. It's esoteric, the fire and ice element, and how they intertwine. Even with the whole aspect of Boaz and Yakin, you have that, where it's pretty much them playing a role of the distinction between the two, but also them being intertwined. It's like that Tupac and Biggie element, where you had the East versus West, or the fire and the ice, Boaz and Yakin, 2 Geminis who are different but also the same. You know what I mean? So that's what this conveyance is right here. The Bloods and Crips gangs have Masonic connections. The founder of the Bloods, Sylvester Scott, was a Mason, and the gang symbols and rituals reflect Masonic influence, as well as Tookie Williams. He was a Mason as well. The Crips also have Masonic ties, with some members incorporating Masonic symbols into their tattoos and graffiti. This connection is not surprising given the historical overlap between Masonry and black fraternal organizations. Pretty much similar, just when it comes to these Greek fraternities. We already know it all goes back to Egypt, but it's no different than the Masonic element of the games, the Bloods and the Crips and the Latin Kings and so on and so forth. you know. And also, when it comes to the Sun and Saturn, the Sun also being associated with the color red and blue being associated with Saturn. You have the aspect of fire, that being associated with red or orange or the sun, and ice, that being associated with black or blue or Saturn or the moon. So all these things is interconnected just when it comes to the principles of Luciferianism. This is why they push these motifs so hard in regards to the understanding of the sun and Saturn. And most of it is surreptitious, but they push it hard if you can pick up on it. So just reading up on this article when it comes to the Masonic Blue Lodge and the Red Lodge. Now, when it comes to the lodges, we already understand Benjamin Franklin founded the first Masonic lodge, I believe, in 1732 or 1731, where he founded it, and he became a big time chief around like 1735, I believe. Benjamin Franklin in Philadelphia. That was one of the first Masonic lodges. Mind you, Philadelphia, the team, what's their colors? Right? What's their colors? The colors is blue and red. Benjamin Franklin being associated with Philadelphia, just when it comes to the Masonic element, and also the understanding of the logo, where you have Benjamin Franklin on the logo, because he had a lot to do with that aspect of Masonry, just when it comes to introducing it, building a lodge, maintaining it over time to the point where its associations grew, and certain people who are members, they gain prominence just based off of the aspect of the paths. So enough of that, let's just read on. As you can see, this is the blue Masonic square and compass. Masonic lodges are an integral part of the Freemasonry fraternity. Masonic lodges can be divided into two distinct groups, Blue Lodge and Red Lodge. Blue Lodge are the most common type and are open to all Master Masons, while Red Lodges are exclusive and only open to a select few. Both types of lodges have their own unique rituals, practices, symbols, as well as different rules and regulations. In this article, we will explore the differences between Blue Lodge and Red Lodge in more depth. Now, keep in mind, Nipsey Hussle, as we know, he died at the age of 33. When it comes to the Masonic principles and the understanding the paths that you take to enlightenment, you reach that 33rd degree. So he was enlightened, but he was purified by the fire, getting shot up 6 times. And, he ascended. That's that master teacher aspect, or that master Masonic aspect. And also he was, he lofted himself up as some sort of influencer, some sort of teacher, where he was like this intelligent thug. Like he could put you on game, you know? That was a part of the aspect of him being, a teacher, leading up to the connection to the number 33, which means master teacher, 33rd degree, enlightenment, so on and so forth. The difference between the Masonic Blue Lodge and the Red Lodge is that the Blue Lodge is the traditional form of Freemasonry, which is the foundation of all other Masonic organizations. The Blue Lodge consists of 3 degrees: Enter Apprentice, Fellow Craft, and Master Mason. And you have these steps, especially when it comes to the entertainment industry, in which certain people who are initiates, this is their pathway. The Red Lodge is a separate organization from the Blue Lodge that focuses on higher degrees of Freemasonry. These degrees are not recognized by the Blue Lodge as having any true Masonic value. The Red Lodge may also include additional rituals and teachings that are not part of the traditional Blue Lodge. The history of Masonic Blue Lodge. The Masonic Blue Lodge is one of the oldest and most respected fraternal organizations in the world, with a history that dates back to the early 1700s. The organization has been a source of knowledge, fellowship, and support for generations. The organization is made up of 3 distinct bodies, each with its own unique history and purpose. The Blue Lodge. The Blue Lodge is the foundation upon which all other Masonic groups are based, It is divided into three symbolic degrees: enter apprentice, fellow craft, and master mason. Each degree has its own set of rituals, symbols, and teachings that are that is designed to help members learn more about themselves and their place in the world. That's like that self-discovery aspect. The Blue Lodge also serves as a place for members to socialize with like-minded individuals from around the world. And then you have the York Rite aspect, going back to Scottish Freemasonry. The York Rite consists of several additional degrees that further expand on the teachings of the Blue Lodge. It includes orders such as the Royal Ark Masons, and where you see the red and blue ribbons, Knights Templar, and Cryptic Masonry. These orders provide additional insight into the deeper aspect of Freemasonry and help members to further develop their understanding of its principles and teachings. And then you have the Rosicrucian Order, which a lot of these celebrities are a part of. The Scottish Rite is an international body that includes 33 degrees of initiation. It focuses on philosophical and moral teachings that are intended to help members become better citizens and better human beings. The Scottish Rite also emphasizes charity, work, and philanthropy as an important part of its mission. See, we over here reading some of it, and some of this is, some of this is filler just in regards to the context of this video, because we really want to focus on the principles of the red and blue, even though it's good to contextualize and, factor in everything. So it's filler, but it's kind of not filler. These three distinct bodies make up what is known as Freemasonry, or Masonry for short. Through these organizations, members can learn more about themselves, their brothers in Masonry, and their place in society as a whole. The goals of each body may vary slightly, but they all strive towards one common goal: to build a better world through ethical living, brotherhood, charity work, education, self-improvement, and service to humanity. That's all good on its face, but we understand the undertone and we understand the inner workings of the Masonic element, because it's all Luciferian, it's all esoteric. On its face, it seems like something that, brotherhood and, we just want to improve upon ourselves and do good for people, all this nonsense. We already understand that. That's that toy Masonic stuff. We know the undertone, we know the inner workings of it. History of the Red Lodge. The Red Lodge is a city in Carbon County, Montana, United States. It is located at the foot of the Beartooth Mountains in the northernmost part of the state. The city is home to a rich history and culture, including many historical sites and buildings. The earliest recorded settlers in the area were Native Americans who lived in the area for many centuries before European settlers arrived. In 1884, John Dunn Sr., a rancher and prospector from Canada, settled in Red Lodge and established a ranch called Dunn's Ranch. This ranch was one of the first permanent settlements in the area. The town of the Red Lodge was officially incorporated in 1887. During this time, it became an important stop on the Northern Pacific Railroad line that ran through Montana. The railroad brought many new settlers to Red Lodge from all over Europe and North America. As new businesses began to open up along Main Street, Red Lodge became an important hub for commerce in the region. The early 20th century saw a boom in tourism due to its proximity to Yellowstone National Park. Many tourists visited Red Lodge during this time period to take advantage of its scenery and recreational activities such as fishing, hunting, skiing, and snowmobiling. In recent decades, the Red Lodge has experienced a resurgence thanks to its vibrant art scene and outdoor recreation opportunities. So they're just going into the specificities of the lodges. But my whole point that I want to emphasize is the aspect of the principles of the Red Lodge and the Blue Lodge, the dichotomy and the parallels, and just the aspect of these things and how it plays out in the entertainment industry. Let you know that these people are aligned with it. They're aligned with the Masonic aspect. They're aligned with the Luciferian aspect. That's just what it is. These people are Osirians and Saturnians and Masons and Luciferians. That's just what they are. So I'm not going to read too much of this. You guys get the point. Really just wanted to emphasize the aspect of the principles, red, blue.